Hey everybody, what's going on? Icy Cat here, and once again we have another new weapon skin review for you as well as a brand new bundle pack. Want to know more about it? Let's take a look next. We have a couple of new additions to the shop. The first one we'll begin with is the BRITANNIA bundle that is available. If you go under the shop tab down to bundles, there is a new one available for Mute. This is his Union Jack headgear, his Solitaire weapon skin for the MP5K, and a teabag weapon charm. The Solitaire skin is the same that I was showing a few weeks back that had, when there was an update to the store, it was made available for a few hours before it was taken down. So I did kind of cover this skin at an earlier point, but this is now available in the bundle, and it's actually up here to stay this time, unlike the other one having been taken down. Additionally, we have the Union Jack headgear. This continues the patriotic theme across the gas mask that Mute wears. And then we have the charm itself. It's just a little packet of Earl Grey tea, and while that does tie in well with the British theme overall, there's a lot of teabaggers out there that will like using this just for that reason alone. This bundle pack is available for Rainbow credits only. You cannot get it with Renown. And let's take a closer look at it in-game. There's not going to be a whole lot here that's different than my review of the Solitaire skin from when I did it several weeks back. As you can see, the skin is pretty much just the flag of Great Britain. It is on the side of the gun. It's somewhat reflective, almost a metallic material. The colors are vibrant and they do pop quite well. The teabag charm on the side of the gun is kind of subtle. It's not anything that's too distracting or overly done. If you actually do the teabagging motion, it does flop around quite a bit, so you'll draw attention to it that way. But what we're seeing here is the continuation of the newer trend where we're going to put together a weapon skin, a headgear, and a charm and offer it as a bundle price. This does allow you to get all three items for cheaper than you would if you purchased all three separately. Oftentimes with these bundles, we see that some of these elements are not available inside the main shop, and you can only get them as part of the bundle. Although I think with some of these things, we'll also see that exclusivity wear off at some point. You know, once the bundle's been available for a long time, then they might loosen it up and make the items available individually. Although in one or two of the bundles, we have also seen some of the items purchasable outside of the bundle pack as well. The next skin I want to talk about is actually something of an anomaly. I don't usually do weapon skin reviews for items that you can purchase in the shop with normal Renown, because typically these are things that you can easily preview on your weapons so you know what you're getting, whereas I tend to do the premium content that you can't preview before you buy it. And this is such a low Renown cost for this weapon skin. It's only 1,000 Renown, so anybody can get it. It's very easy for you to preview. I would not normally do a review on something that is so easily obtainable and easily previewable, if that's even a word. But what makes this stand out is the Zoe Love weapon skin is designed by a community member. That is her name. That's what she put together. And the story behind this is she actually had just posted some images of some weapon skins that she did just as like a fan doing fan art. And apparently the development team took notice of those and said, you know, hey, these are kind of cool. Do you want to maybe do something on a more official level? And they put it together and made it happen. If you want to know more about that, there's a link on screen here which will take you to an article that talks about that as they kind of interview her and ask her some questions. While she is a community member, this is also somebody that's been doing video game fan art for a while. This isn't just somebody like with MS Paint that decided to slap something together. And it's an interesting design skin. It has a nice clean feel to it. One thing I see that I think is a little bit of a goof somehow, I'm not sure if it's on the designer's end or if it's on the Ubisoft end when they implemented the skin in the game, is that you can see this is called the gator skin. So you can see that there's a gator there and it's upside down. You can see evidence of that on the splash screen advertisement for it, and you can see it on the skin itself. The gator is upside down, yet when you select the skin in the loadout for choosing your skin, it's right side up. So clearly there was something there that got a little literally turned around. But honestly, it's such a minor point because where the gator head is anyway is kind of like where you have the hole for the trigger assembly. So it's not like it's a prominent feature on the gun, and you're not really noticing that as you run around with it anyway. The weapon skin itself is surprisingly a reflective metallic material, which I didn't think it would be from looking at the preview of it, but in game you can see it's quite reflective. It's very sleek with blacks and reds, and one thing I want to address is that I know a lot of people think the P90 is one of the worst guns in the game. It's a pea shooter because it has such low damage. I can't argue with you there. It does have pretty awful damage, and I hope that that's something that gets balanced in a future update to make it a little bit more viable overall. So whether or not you think this is the worst gun ever and you can't stand it, that's beside the point. The bigger issue here is that Ubisoft reached out to somebody in the community that made some cool weapon skin art and said, hey, we like that. Let's implement it into the game, and that's pretty cool. I'd actually like to see more of this kind of thing. Maybe they can have some kind of submission contest where people can, you know, put in their entries and maybe get selected for something. Obviously, this would all be subject to approval by Ubisoft. They would have to have good quality control on this because, let's face it, there's some pretty awful things that people could make as weapon skins to try to put in the game. The other reason it's really interesting is that, I mean, when you look at this skin, it's just as good as most of the skins in the game already. In fact, it's better than some of the skins in the game, just from a quality and a design standpoint. It's nice and cheap, 1,000 renown, anybody can go ahead and pick that up. But what do you guys think about this? We've got some artwork made by a community member that's actually found its way into the game. Do you want to see more of that kind of thing? Or would you just rather that the development team be the only ones to handle that? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to stay up to date on all the latest news, information, tips, tricks, reviews, and more for Rainbow Six Siege. Additionally, you can also follow me at IcyCat25 on either Facebook or Twitter. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.